Hey guys, Soul here. I know I didn't really give a lot of notice before doing this video, but kind of important I do this. Um, I want to talk real quick about the importance of using a transgender person's um, name and pronouns. A lot of people don't understand how harmful it is to keep using someone's dead name or nickname for a dead name, as well as using the incorrect pronouns. Um, Myself, for instance, I'm not going to say what my dead name is, but I have never been able to stand it. For my entire life, I hated my name. Nothing against my parents. I know that was a family name, and I get that. That it was a name you wanted to give me because it belonged to one of my grandparents. But I hated it. Not because it came from my grandparents, but it wasn't me. It took years for me to actually think of that, but it never felt like me. And then I could actually put words to it when I understood more about myself. So, like when I was a teenager, about high school, um, I had a nickname for years, and a lot of people still call me that, which it's not as bad as my dead name, but it's derived from it, and it's really painful. It actually causes a physical ache when I hear it. Never mind the actual physical punch to the chest I feel when I get dead named. I did legally change my name in August of 2018, so I'm glad I did. The only place it's left is, I think, on a student loan, but I'm trying to get that changed. I just have to find my name change papers and get it faxed in. Um, But if a trans person is okay with their dead name, it might seem like it's okay to keep using it. That's kind of iffy. Unless a trans person tells you, oh, you can keep calling me my dead name, don't. Just don't. It is disrespectful, for one thing. It is harmful. And for some trans people, it is even triggering. And yeah, I know there's some idiots out there that say, oh, they're triggered by everything. No, no, sometimes that calling them a dead name might trigger them to a point where I've actually seen some trans people like that have had this experience. Unfortunately, I can't believe this, but it happens. They've been raped. They have been beat up to the point where they're in the hospital. They've been they have been hurt or traumatized in some way that just saying their dead name or seeing it on paper can make them relive that memory for a few moments, and it can cause severe psychological damage. It's terrible. So think about that. Think about, there are some people that actually do have traumatic memories they associate their dead name with. Same thing with the pronouns. Sometimes people, they're like, I'll use my wife for example. I still call her he every once in a while, and not because I don't respect her. It's not that at all. But she's not as out as I am. And some people, there's a lot of people that still, or at least from my point of view, hun, if you see this, please correct me. I beg you. I don't want to be offending you if I can help. I mean, I don't want to offend you at all. But either way, I still call her he. Occasionally when we see somebody that doesn't know that she's out, for people that know about her, that know that she's out and stuff, no, I call her female, I call her by her chosen name, all of that. But when someone doesn't know or she doesn't want them to know, I still call her he. But she has told me that it, or at least, and again, hon, if you see this, please correct me if I'm wrong. She's told me, if someone knows she's out, please call her her. At least that's what I've understood. And if I get that wrong, honey, I'm sorry. Just please correct me. And I will correct myself. And I will do my best with that. Because sometimes I do forget. And then, like, for myself, and I can only speak of my own experiences and what I've, noticed. So don't take my word as for what every trans man or every trans woman is like. But, like, for myself, don't call me she. It's offensive. It's hurtful. It's invalidating as hell. It's not triggering to me to call me by female pronouns because I do look female. I understand. I sound female. I sound female, and I still have typical feminine reactions to certain things still. But that's just me being myself. I'm a slightly feminine man, so yeah, I'm still gonna act female sometimes. Seriously, the hand gesture thing. I don't see a lot of stereotypical guys do that, but who cares, right? But call people by their pronouns because it's invalidating, it's disrespectful, it's telling them, I don't care that you are a guy or a girl that you say you are. I'm still going to call you whatever, I've known you as. That's them saying straight to your face, just thinly veiled there, I don't care about your feelings. I only care about my own. And if you are a cis person or even another trans person who might fall under the category of invalidating someone for any reason, just think about that. It's not hard to call somebody by the correct pronouns once you get in the habit. I won't lie, for a lot of people, it is very difficult, especially when someone still looks very masculine or looks very feminine. It's difficult to get in that habit, but once you start thinking of that person as the gender they are, it shouldn't be that difficult. I can understand at the very beginning, because like when my wife first came out, this is how I was. It was very difficult to call her a woman. I mean, well, maybe not a woman, but she, because I had known her for years and I'd known her as male that entire time. So it took me a little while to get used to calling her and she and other feminine terms. And I have to admit, I'm a bit embarrassed about it, but that's not bad because I've corrected myself. I'm always trying to better myself about that. If she corrects me, I start calling her as much as possible. And I hope she corrects me if there's ever a time that I don't call her and she wants me to. So, and for the most part, I believe she has. I don't think there's very many times where she's not corrected me in a situation where she wants to be called female, but I might be wrong. So again, hon, if you see this, just seriously, let me know. But seriously, just respect people when they tell you, oh, my name is Soul. It is not whatever my dead name is. My name is Soul. Please don't call me by my old nickname. Because I'll have to admit, I have had 2 names I will not keep hidden. I have gone by Hex, which means curse. Got that from some Wiccan, got that from some Wiccan friends of mine. Years and years ago when I first got into practicing that. They thought they actually gave me the name ironically because at the time my life I felt like was kind of cursed and I was really good at creating negative spells. The other name I went by was Phaelon. It is a Greek and German name meaning little wolf, which is hilarious because I adore wolves. I actually stopped going by it because I went by Theo. And somebody corrected me and told me that meant ugly in Spanish, and they were not comfortable at all calling me that. So I understand, and I changed it. That's when I started looking for a new name. I still went by Pheolon for a short while before I picked out a name. It took me, I think, like a week to find the name Soul. No, 2 weeks, because I started going by Rowan. Mother ruined that. Thank you so much for that. She seriously thought of Rawhide every time she thought of that song. God, that was annoying. No, you don't mean to, Mom, but yeah, that was very annoying. We still laugh about it though, so it's not like it made me mad. Then I found a name Soren. My wife actually ruined that for me. She thought I meant Saruman from Lord of the Rings. I was thinking of Soren from the Guardians of Gahul. But she ruined that for me. So I'm like, you know what? I see this other name Soul here. I like that. I'm going to go by that. But I still get people every once in a while who dead name me. My mom still dead names me occasionally. She is correcting herself, thankfully. Still slips up, but mainly like if she gets after me for something. So if I forget to pick up trash, yeah, maybe not that, something worse. Basically, if she's getting after me for something she didn't want me to do, and it's kind of in the moment, she will forget and she will dead name me. People who don't know that I'm trans or that I'm out, they have dead named me, but I have forgiven the first time because I always correct them and I let them know that is no longer my name. Please, for the love of God, do not call me that. So if you know someone who has a dead name that they're actually comfortable with, ask them before you call them that, just to double check. Because some trans people, for one, some of them aren't even out. Like they're trans. They're out, or they might be like on a secret Facebook profile, another website, something like that. And so dead naming them is one thing. I mean, it's still bad either way. But you may not know it. But if you know someone is trans and you have any doubt at all that they might be offended by their name, by their dead name, double check so you don't hurt someone's feelings, because for some people it's just uncomfortable. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Okay, so for some people, they love mud. So I'm going to use putting mud on your skin as an analogy. I can't think of anything else for some reason. And this goes for pronouns too. But names, I think, is actually a bigger issue. At least that's what I feel like. That's what I've seen. I cannot speak for anybody else, however, because I've known people that they're fine with dead names, but call them by the wrong pronoun, and it's like all hell breaks loose. But like some people, you put mud on their skin, oh, they love it. They just love it. They think it feels good, it feels right, whatever term you want to use for that. That would be people who are comfortable with their dead names, either because they are cis and they like that name, or just simply because they like that name. Because there's gender neutral names out there like Ash, Taylor. Sydney, I think, is gender neutral. Or it's gendered by the way you spell it, I think, something like that. There's a lot of gender neutral names that some people are comfortable with going by because it might have been their dead name. And then there's some people where it's like, oh, well, I guess this is okay. That's what I see a lot of times when people first come out, is their dead name it's there. They go by it, but it's just there. It's not something they enjoy, but it's not something they hate either. And then there's some people where it's like, okay, please get this off of me. Where it's like, okay, please do not call me by this name. It makes me really uncomfortable. And there's some people, like myself included, for the love of God, get this mud off me. It is disgusting. It is nasty. I hate it. That's how some people are about their dead names. That's how I am about my dead name. And I've seen some people that, and I've had this happen to me once. My wife and me I had gotten after her for something. This is before she came out. I think I was doing something with her kid. And I said her dead name. And she called me by mine. And hun, you might remember this. If you watch this, you might remember what I'm talking about. I froze. I felt like I was going to hyperventilate. And I started bawling. Because I was so mad she used it. I believe this was before I became out as a trans man. I was still transgender. But before I started calling myself a guy. And I actually cried in bed for a good hour, half an hour to an hour. It upset me that much. There are trans people that are that affected by their dead name, not trans name. But long story short, you know somebody, if you have a dead name you're comfortable with, more power to you. But if you know somebody that has a new name and does not want to be called by their previous name, please, for the love of God, respect that. Especially if it's something you can tell offends them, that it hurts them. Same thing with the pronouns. If you know they're not going to be bothered, still ask, just in case, because things might change. They might change in the span of a few minutes. It might be a couple months before they start feeling uncomfortable. Like my wife, she just recently started feeling dysphoric because she's getting more out at work. And while I'm glad about that, at the same time, I understand the dysphoria. I hate my chest. I really do. It makes me feel almost invalidated. But she wants to look more feminine, and I've offered to do her makeup and stuff too. But see, things change. Before, I don't think she cared either way. Recently, oh no, she wanted a new haircut and everything. She got a new haircut, which looks great. She wants to look more feminine, and if she watches this is going to be an early surprise, hun. I'm going to take her dress shopping someday. I'm not a dress person myself, but I am actually pretty good at picking out outfits for other people. Especially if I know them. Which I think a lot of people probably are if they think about it, but I mean, if they really focused on it. But no, seriously, things can change. So even if your trans friend says, oh, I don't mind being called my dead name. You can go ahead and call me that if you want. Just try to call me this. Try to call them by whatever their name is. Not their dead name, but their real name. And in a few months, if you're still calling them by the dead name and they tell you, please stop calling me that, then stop calling them that. It's that simple. Because otherwise you're invalidating them and you're disrespecting them. And you're telling them, I don't care what your feelings are. I've known you as this for so long that, well, your feelings do not matter. That's literally what someone actually just said to me very recently. Actually today, oh, I know you'll always be this to me. That hurt. That's family. And that hurt beyond belief. Luckily, it wasn't my dead name. It was just the nickname. But still, it's the reason I don't go by it. But I think I repeated myself enough. So sorry about that. This was just a quick video today, and thoughts are kind of everywhere. Got a lot going on. I will probably try to do a video later this week. Probably may not get to it until next week since Mother's Day is coming up. And I want to do something special for my wife because this will be her first Mother's Day she's celebrating as a mother. So this will be kind of nice. I plan on doing something special for her. Plus, me and my kid are going to take my mom out to late lunch, early dinner today, so don't have time this weekend. She works. So, but no, just seriously, respect people. That's all. That's what it's all about. Respect people, respect what they tell you, respect what they go by. And I've seen this analogy used, and I'll say this, and then that'll pretty much be the end. For all you Poke fans out there, or Digimon fans, or whatever, basically little monsters that change shapes and names, if you can remember 800 Pokemon, or however many Digimon there are, pretty sure you can remember to call somebody by their new name. It's not that difficult, especially if you've been doing it already for other things that aren't even real. But again, respect people, respect what they tell you, respect what they go by, and if you don't, well, then you are trash. So I'll see you guys later this week or next week. Talking more about trans men on their periods, I think, is going to be my next topic. So I'm going to try to get some opinions and questions from trans men that still deal with it, or can remember dealing with it, and might have some tips. So I will see everyone whenever the next video is. Thanks, guys.